Well, it is International Women's Month, but it's also Glaucoma Week here and in the world, as a matter of fact, and in Trinidad and Tobago, we're commemorating it this week, every day with an interview, and we're kicking it off with Mr. Kenneth Suratt, Executive Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association. Good morning.
Good morning,
and
good
welcome
morning
to the program.
And thank you very much for having me on your program this
I want
morning.
to also say thank you to Janesta Agard for producing this week-long segment here on the program. But first of all, tell us about the Blind Welfare Association and what's happening with it these days.
The Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association started work for the blind since the 18th of May 1914. So we are a very old organization.
Yes.
And this week we are going to be focusing on blindness prevention and in particular glaucoma.
And how would you be doing that?
Using your program to let people be aware
Yes.
That glaucoma is preventable. 80% of all blindness in the world is preventable, but we must go and get our eyes checked.
You
tested.
said 80% of blindness is preventable?
Yes. Once it is detected in time,
yes,
it is preventable.
And how soon and how early should persons be looking for signs of glaucoma?
First of all, people must be looking at your family history.
Yeah.
And if there's glaucoma in your family, I think you should go quickly and get it tested. But everyone should have their eyes tested each year. Sight loss is so important. It is a social problem. And if people lose their sight, it impacts negatively on the country and the economy. But if you could prevent that, then we could keep people in the employment or in school or wherever, whatever they're doing.
Yeah. But even if persons lose their sight, we have seen persons continue to live fulfilling lives. For example, like Marlon, who is the police officer, for example. So
Yes.
it's not necessarily a sentence of the end.
No, but if you could prevent it, it is much better.
Obviously, yes, definitely. And what have you seen from the Blind Welfare Association in terms of the impact of glaucoma on the society, on the family, and so on? What are some of the things that you see?
Glaucoma is a creeper. You could go to sleep sighted and get a blind next day, and that could be traumatic. And it could be traumatic on the individual and also the family. Give an example, like if the mom or the dad is a major earner of income and they go blind, it could impact on the children, it could impact on the community. So it is so important that we work hard and go and get your eyes tested.
Yes, yeah, and the importance of educating the public, we can't stress that enough. What are some of the initiatives, besides coming on the program, that the Blind Welfare Association is involved in terms of building awareness among the public?
Well, they could come to the Blind Welfare Association and get information. We have concerts, we have different pamphlets to show out, and we encourage people to go and get your eyes tested. And because glaucoma, it increases the pressure in your eyes. Yeah. And what happens, that will put pressure onto the optic nerve, and the optic nerve takes information, what you see, and transmit it to the brain. And once that gets damaged, it is irreversible. You cannot regain that sight, so it's important. And it's a creeper because you may see straight ahead, but you lose your peripheral vision. And after a while, all goes.
Yeah. And do you have testing sites around the country, or is it that persons need to go to their private doctors, to the ophthalmologist, to the optician, optometrist, and so on?
Start with your health centers, because the glaucoma testing machine is a more detailed, and you need an expert to look at that machine. Not anyone can use it. So you need to start with your health center, and once you go there, they will direct you. And hopefully, I think a lot of health centers could do the testing right now.
All right. So we want to encourage people this week, and not just this week alone, but throughout their lives, to at least be tested once a year, you said.
Yes.
Right? And also to keep, once you have glaucoma in your family, to go out and get tested. You can start at your health centers, as Mr. Kenneth Suratt, Executive Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association, just told us. And we are going to be having a segment like this around 6:30 every day this week, where we're going to have an expert come in and talk to you about glaucoma. So,
you know, years ago they said an ounce of prevention is greater than a pound of cure.
Absolutely.
And that still holds up to this day.
Yes.
So yes, you know, if you go blind, you can come to the Blind Welfare Association and get services. One, we help you to adjust with your blindness. We teach you to use the wide cane. We teach you to use your cell phones, smartphones, computers. We teach you Braille. And also, if you're in an education institution, we provide you with all your learning material in an accessible format. And this year is 2020. It is an important year because it means perfect sight. And our theme for this year is inclusion and accessibility.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, this is International Women's Week. Are there any particular programs specifically geared towards women who may have different issues with regard to blindness as opposed to men?
Well, blindness impacts negatively mainly on women and girls because a lot of times how the world treat they believe their son or it's more valued than women, and we believe that is wrong. Women should be treated equally, and you'll see more persons who are women and girls go blind because of glaucoma and other eye diseases differently to men. So we are encouraging the world, let us treat each and everyone equally, and everyone should have access to medication, treatment, testing, and it should not only be preferential treatment of men and not women. And the Blind Welfare Association strongly encourages the world and the government to put policies and procedure in place to accommodate all persons who may have eye problem, and we wish women all the best for 2020.
On that note, I want to thank you very much, Kenneth Suratt, Executive Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association. Remember, this entire week we will be talking about glaucoma and the issues around it, so stay tuned for that at around 6:30 every morning. We're going to take in a few messages and come right back here on the Now Morning Show after this.